Hi Leo, here is a general look at your solar chart for March 2011. Now, overall partnerships and close one-to-one type relationships, whether they're professional or personal, look pretty warm and healthy, and you and someone could really be clicking, getting a mental rapport with each other, maybe having more interaction with others on that kind of one-to-one basis, whether it is somebody that you know already or somebody new. But until the 21st, you're in a transformational phase, and you're going to be shifting from one gear to the next. In the process, however, you could be feeling a little bit more emotionally sensitive and self-protective and introspective, really, as you gauge where your priorities lie and how best to move forwards. And that's particularly up until the 10th. So your inner mood will tend to dominate your thinking processes up until the 10th. And this is also, so therefore, you'll be feeling more inward. It's a great time for strategies, plotting, planning, maybe taking some confidential advice for the future, which you can do by overall trusting your own instincts, your emotional guidance. It's also a very good time for you to have a heart-to-heart talk with someone. So, but part of what concerns you could be that you do not feel that you have the understanding, the appreciation, the control, or the freedom you'd like over your present sort of circumstances or situation. This could be connected to finances or property or a contract or an agreement of some kind. It could be over some sort of moral obligation. Either way, feelings could run high because there could be somebody there who's just bugging you, or something that's just bugging you, because your values are clashing. So this transformation that I was talking about is as a consequence of coming up against that pressure, and the energies are going to push you into deciding what is better for you, what feels more comfortable for you, maybe morally and emotionally, but also materially, and that's when your gears shift and you reach for something better. And you might not know what that thing is until a certain pressure builds and then the breakthrough happens, because in fact this is a transformational phase, and it is to do with breakdown and renewal. But first you've got to go through the letting go bit. So you might have to let go of a previously held stance. Okay. And then you'll start to feel the uplift, very much so, from the 21st onwards. But your mind, you won't have so much on your mind in that regard from the 10th onwards, or rather after the 10th. So it's from the 11th onwards. So previous to that, from the 10th, from the 10th, you're going to be thinking more expansively. You're going to be keener to learn. You're going to be putting your thoughts out there, maybe taking advice, taking an interest on an intellectual level, not being so sort of wound up inside, and maybe, hearing things that are going to be very useful, which are going to help you to see the way forward. So that's going to be a busier, mentally stimulating time, particularly on the 9th and the 10th. You could be on the edge of your seat there. There could be some information or maybe a revelation which surprises you, but hopefully will inspire you to reach for something better for your future. Now, Uranus makes its move on March the 12th. It comes out of 7 long years of transiting Pisces and goes into Aries, a fellow fire sign. That's going to be good news for you, Leos. Uranus will be transiting that area for around about 7 years. And just expect your familiar way of thinking and interpreting the world around you through the signals and influences and the culture. Just expect that to change. It might come in sort of little flurries of change. The energy of Uranus rules electrical power, so it can come in undulating waves, peaks and troughs. But in March, you early Leos are likely to feel this influence, those born on the first couple of days, or Leos or Leo rising people who are born with the first couple of degrees of the sign rising. Could be revelatory, could be inspiring, definitely will blow the winds of change through your life and suddenly, open up maybe a new pathway for you. It may be that you're playing with the ideas for a little while, because Uranus is a very mentally orientated energy. But however it is for you, the concepts or the information or the events are likely to blow out the cobwebs from the past and really get things starting to roll forwards. So, and you may be learning a new language as well. Your mind could be opening up on that sort of intellectual level, and having a new academic area of interest. Jupiter's position is going to be underpinning this in March, because Jupiter is going to be in exactly the same area of your solar chart as Uranus is, expanding your world. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and abundance, expanding your knowledge base, getting you to be curious and inquisitive. You could be growing academically if you take that route, but it is about broader horizons, Jupiter. So broadening your mental territory and your physical territory as you're touching into new areas of interest. Take that chance to plunge into an unfamiliar environment which brings abundance to you, potentially, because Jupiter is the planet of abundance and good fortune, but at least broadens your understanding and you go wiser and more informed as well through those experiences. So whether that's through a place or a teacher or a teaching, it could come through a book or a course. This is all going to give you more of this philosophical eagle eye view and this broader perspective, and it should be very interesting. Jupiter and Uranus are both in areas which are making positive vibrations to your sun sign. Now, just bear in mind that even though it's not making a very powerful aspect, you've got Pluto in the area of work, making you a little bit more controlling, wanting to be more in control of your working environment. Self-employment would be good, but more really intensely focused at times on that, almost obsessive about it. And it is to do with, again, change, but this is a far longer cycle of change. So it's almost as though you do it to the absolute, you do it to 1,000%. Okay, let's say 1,000%. You put yourself into something and then you find that you just naturally wanting to leave that area behind and birth through into a new area. So if you are at that stage now, then maybe you have to start asking questions about what is there about this routine I'm in here related to work that's holding me back or making me feel frustrated. And don't be frightened, particularly with these new energies coming in from Jupiter and Uranus, to break through and go into new areas. And if you've got to go back to school to learn, get some knowledge under your belt and expand your knowledge base, then that would be a good thing for you to be doing just over this phase. Just right now, from sort of start now. And from the 21st, well, the focus shifts and you feel less preoccupied with maybe a moral, what you owe somebody morally, or maybe a joint arrangement or contract. Could be around money or property, of however big or small, and you're going to be feeling more outgoing, more extrovert, ready to spread your wings. And also from the 27th, financial matters should flow better, and you and a significant other could be getting a lot closer. Just bear in mind about this Uranian energy, which rules electricity, rules the parasympathetic nervous system. It means that on the 20th to the 22nd, certain exchanges could have you sitting on the edge of your seat at times, might be feeling a bit nervous, but you may learn something you did not know before, and with the energies, the vibrations being overall positive, that could be a very good thing. That's it for March. If you know your rising sign, listen to that too. It'll throw another light on what I've said here. And I'll see you the next time.